Hi guys, this is gsnrom.com and I'm here with the handset called vivo Y70. It's a mid-range phone with plenty of RAM, 8 gigs, and that's its selling point. Also, fast charging and the fact that it has already received, believe it or not, Android 11, unlike quite a few flagships. So it's a pretty nifty packaging. There's a lot of blue here, so I'm guessing this is the identity that Vivo is adopting right now. Loads of blue. Okay, so the price tag internationally should be around 270 euros, which is something like $300 or $320. It feels like a very light phone and also with a good looking back. This hue is usually called something like obsidian. In this case, it's called oxygen blue. There's also a gravity black version. I'm actually loving the way the device feels in my hand. It reminds me a bit of my own OnePlus 60, only even lighter. I'm going to fire it up. Okay, so I've already set it up and I also updated it. It arrived to me with the FunTouch OS 10.5 applied on top of Android 10, and after a 2 GB package update, it reached Android 11 and FunTouch OS 11. It's an unboxing, so let's check it out. Let's see what's inside the box. Okay, one document here. This is the key used to access the slots. Here we have the manual, warranty and whatnot. And this is the case, flexible and transparent, letting you see the device in all of its glory and also protecting it. Inside the box, we find the following. A pretty hefty charger. As I said before, one of the selling points here is definitely the fast charging. We are promised to reach up to 33 watts, and we have an USB-A connector. Then we have a pair of headphones, which look exactly like the Apple AirPods or the Huawei headphones, which they've been offering for the past 3 years, with a 3.5mm connector. And then the cable, which is pretty generous in thickness, as it usually happens with the cables specifically tailored for a faster charge. And here inside we should have an USB-C tip and an USB-A tip. Really struggling with this, but hopefully you can see it. So this is the USB-C. And on the other hand, you have the USB-A. You're going to have to take my word for it. Okay, so this is pretty much it. This is everything available inside the box. A pretty generous package, considering other companies don't give us a charger, headphones, or basically anything anymore. Now, as you probably have guessed it, since there's no receded power button, the fingerprint scanner is in the screen. It's embedded, it's of the optical variety, and let's put it to the test. So you should properly rest the entire surface of your finger on it to make sure everything goes fine. As you can tell, we're using here a screen which is quite bright. You can see it by the way we're filming. It seems a bit overexposed, and this is actually a pretty solid display. Let's try and find a proper balance. Okay, so let's talk about the device some more. At the front we have glass with, I would say, pretty narrow bezels. The chin isn't as thick as you'd expect for this price range, but we have the old school teardrop notch at the top side. The back side is plastic, even though it looks like glass and it creates beautiful pearl-like effects. This is actually plastic. Plastic all around, plastic for the frame and plastic for the back side. The thickness is decent, 7.8mm. Probably a bit more for the camera bump, and the weight is 171 grams. It's a dual SIM phone with an AMOLED screen, which I keep praising, and aside from the AMOLED screen, I should probably also mention that the diagonal is 6.44 inches and the resolution is 2400 over 1080 pixels with a 20:9 aspect. Okay, so now we go inside and we find the processor, which is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 665. I'm sure you've seen it before, where this 11nm octa-core chip has been featured on the Nokia 5.3, TCL 10L and the Redmi Note 8, not to forget the Xperia 10 Mark II. It has a GPU, which is called the Adreno 610, and in this case it provides us with 8 gigs of RAM, pretty generous, and 128 GB of storage, plus microSD. Now, they didn't go all the way. The battery is just a 4100 mAh unit with 33 watt charging. On paper, we are being promised to reach about 65% charge with the phone in 30 minutes. As I said before, the phone originally came with Android 10 and FunTouch OS 10.5 or 11, but then it got upgraded to Android 11 and feels to be working quite fine. It's pretty snappy and fluid, and this FunTouch interface isn't very far from the stock and clean Android. Now on the camera front, as you can probably see here, we have a teardrop notch for a selfie 16 megapixel camera with Full HD filming. Now at the back side, there's a typical rectangular module with 3 sensors and a dual LED, also presumably dual tone flash. The main camera is a 48 megapixel shooter with PDAF, and then we have two 2 megapixel cameras, one for bokeh, one for macro. It shoots 4K video, which is nice to see, and aside from that we have a microphone here at the top. This is the slot area, and at the bottom you can find the audio jack, USB-C port, and the, well, speaker. A pretty nice glossy frame, which you can see here, contributing to the nice looks of the phone. And by the way, from what I can see here, there's a screen protector already applied to this display, especially visible in the top part here. Not sure if you can see it. Now on the connectivity front, if you want to talk about that, we've got Wi-Fi dual band, so no worries here. 4G, Bluetooth 5.0, GPS, NFC, there's even FM radio in the mix, and a USB-C 2.0 port at the bottom. I'm still getting accustomed to this fingerprint scanner in the screen. It's an optical one, and I see that we also have an ultra game mode, so quite a few features for gamers. Not bad. The camera interface looks like this. We have a separate area for the lens, super macro and bokeh. They're kept separate from the main camera apparently. This is the video section. Let's confirm the whole 4K thing. Yes, you can shoot 4K video indeed. And we got a more section with nifty stuff like a full 48 megapixel shots, panorama, live photo, slow-mo, time-lapse, pro and AR stickers, plus documents, which is useful for students. There's a portrait mode and also a night mode, which is nice to see, and the portrait mode features something called beauty and extra for bokeh. Okay, that's about it. FunTouch OS, as I said before, is pretty close to a stock interface. I see you have a special security app which will clear your resources. It will scan you for security risks and probably do a few more customizations. My first impressions of the phone are that it's very light, comfy. It keeps a pretty close to stock user interface, and the screen is very bright. It's a pretty solid AMOLED that we're using here. Hopefully the usage of the fingerprint scanner will get better, or I will get more accustomed to it. This is from gsnrom.com. Once again, the phone should be priced at around $300 in countries all over the world. We'll be back with a full review pretty soon. Bye bye.